Hello, it's Veronica and Naomi. And well, we are going to talk about our personal feelings towards the Rainbow High rebrand and just the decline this line has gone through from what we've seen. And this is a difficult decline to describe because if it's not dead, then what is it? It's as we said in the title, it's a shell of its former self. And this analogy doesn't come from nowhere either. So if you know about the death of Flashpoint, you probably recognize this game. You probably recognize the art style. And if you don't, well, the game on my laptop right now is the Steam version of poptropica.com, which is a website that was first released in around 2007, I think. And it was created by Jeff Kinney and Pearson Entertainment. At least I think it's Pearson or something. But yeah. Basically, what this game was. So basically, this game was kind of a fantasy adventure game combined with an educational game where you kind of went to different islands, did a bunch of fetch quests and stuff like that. And yeah, we just kind of want, and we're not going to play too much of this, but we're just kind of want to show what this game kind of looks like for anyone who remembers this. But yeah. And the Steam and the version of the game that we're playing on right now is the version that was released on the gaming platform Steam. But it only has around 27 of the original islands, which we know from memory originally there were over 44 at least. So what happened to this game? Why is this pretty much a dead game compared to what it was during the early 2000s? And yes, this does go into the analogy with the Rainbow High doll line that we're going to go into later. So this game was a game that I started playing in around 2009, 2010. So my account on this is really old. Really stinking old. And yes, I do have a crazy amount of items on this because of how old my account is. Just to show, yes, this is an authentic 2009 or 2010 Poptropica account that beat literally most of the islands in the game. And then this game is also known for having a bunch of collabs and stuff. So, of course, there were items from that. And the pets weren't added until later. But basically, this started out as a game that was very much that was free to play for the most part, and like the only stuff offered with membership originally was like the occasional like color variant of like a certain like shop cosmetic or something. But then like it after the death of Flashpoint, they started transferring they started getting rid of a lot of the older islands, switching the like any newer ones to this other system called hacks, where like if you go on to if you even look up poptropica.com, it will redirect you to Cool Math Games. And it's currently, and the original art website is currently archived on Cool Math Games. But yeah. And then it just got, and with the hacks version, which was the newer version, it just got more money hungry. Like more stuff was like made to be members only, and they got rid of the costumizer, which this version has the costumizer. It's basically where you could like click on any character of your choice, steal parts of their outfit, save it to your avatar, and yeah. And I'm sure you can tell that, yes, I have used this feature a lot back in the day. But yeah, they got rid of that feature on the official like version of the website a little bit. And people got mad. People just like stopped really kind of caring about it over the years, and this game is what I consider to be the very definition of something being a shell of his former self. Because you have the Steam version, which archives like several of the islands. You have the official like website version that is saved to coolmathgames.com that pretty much archives even fewer of the islands compared to the Steam version. And it's just like, it's pretty much a dead game nowadays. When it used to be, back in the day whenever I was a kid, absolutely thriving. Like on the same levels of Club Penguin and Webkins. And even older, and even bigger than like older, like 2007 Roblox. So, yeah. And now kind of considering how this random comparison to a dead Flashpoint game, which contributes to the decline of the Rainbow High doll line. So like with how Poptropica was removing like several features from it and getting rid of a lot of its like older like islands to like kind of try to make it like more relevant for like a newer demographic, when its older demographic has basically grown up, including like making a version called Poptropica World, which is pretty much which pretty much failed. And so yeah, they have a failed reboot under their hands too. But yeah, like Rainbow High has taken the approach of trying to aim the dolls a lot more at kids, taking away things like wrist and thigh articulation, just basic quality of life stuff like that, and doll stands and like fabric purses and second outfits, and just yeah, over the years, especially with the rebrand, Rainbow High has taken away a lot of what made the original dolls special for people. And if you want to, like, and this is my series one, when Ruby even, I got her like a few weeks after they like all other collectors started covering them. And I was just wowed by this doll's quality, and I just fell in love with this doll line because of that. And before like Shadow High came out, Emmy was like my personal favorite. I love this doll a lot. I love styling her. Even her original clothing pieces were strong for the time. And that was very consistent with what Rainbow High line was to me. Like, amazing base dolls with really nice articulation. Really, really, like, amazingly detailed faces and clothing for the price point compared to every other line on the shelves. Like, Rainbow High felt like a steal back then. And the fact that these dolls came with like doll stands and combs and extra outfits, it's just like, this was impressive for the time. This was amazing compared to what the OMG LOMG price point was, and how these were the same price as them originally as well. So to think you could get quality like this for $24.99 or so. Insane. Crazy. Just, it was a different time. It really felt like paradise compared to where it is now. And then, like, the line just... And then, like, even with, like, the budget cuts with, like, cutting things like second outfits, the dolls still remained really good. Like, even, like, if you look at, like, Shadow High dolls like Scarlet or Carla here even, these are very, very high fashion dolls that just are really beautiful and came with, like good quality outfits for the price point they were sold at. And just really felt worth it. And I do own like nearly every Shadow High doll except for the girls' night dolls. So yeah, I love Shadow High. And the fact that I bought the budget dolls as well as the collector dolls just shows that Shadow High is my ride or die. Shadow High is my comfort line. And I have no one to blame but my little NNV for really converting me to Shadow High and making me see how amazing and beautiful this line truly is. Like, when I saw these, Heather may have been my very first Shadow High doll, but My Little Stormies really made all the difference for me. Like, seeing these dolls, I felt like I had a friend I could relate to with having the long nails. I saw a lot of myself in them and their goth aesthetic. And just how beautiful they are. Like there are times when I just look at these dolls and I wish I could be more like them. I wish I could be more confident like how they are in the Rainbow High show. Because I find that a very admirable quality to have. And even the Rainbow High show before the rebrand, it had a more consistent storyline. It was centered around simply girls going to an art high school, and the narrative didn't deviate from that. It had a good status quo with that. It had a good setup with that. And there really weren't any like super big issues to speak of, other than the occasional African American character not being well written, like Maylene Lux or Iris Bow, which we are aware of how like MGA wrote characters like that compared to other characters, and we feel like it's very unfair, and they truly got the short end of the stick. But yeah, while the show wasn't necessarily perfect, it was engaging. The characters were fun. And it really helped a lot of fans really emotionally connect with the dolls and just gave them more personality and really brought them to life. But then the rebrand happened and things just got worse. So the rebrand is when Rainbow High started truly becoming a shell of its former self. Because we feel like until like all the way through season 4, Rainbow High felt like Rainbow High. Shadow High felt like Shadow High. The line had its identity fully intact. But then the teasers for season 5 started dropping with like Sunny going through the portal and stuff, and all the like liquid rainbow and the rainbow world stuff. And it's just like, when season 5 aired and people like started not watching the show as much, you know it lost something. You could just tell. And for us, that was when the rebrand, and Rainbow High especially, ceased being what it was before. It ceased being its true self. And it was just sad to watch this line that was originally amazing for like people of multiple ages devolve into something that feels like it was made for kids. Because let's just say what MGA did to make it more accessible to kids was like getting rid of the wrist and thigh articulation, really simplifying the makeup to the point where it was just simpler and way too light and not as like high fashion looking. The outfits weren't as nice as they used to be with the styling, and you weren't getting as many designer clothing parodies as we used to. And it's just like, the changes really weren't good. And the changes in the show were the nail in the coffin. Like, it went from a show focusing on teenage girls going to an art high school to literally something with the structure of like an actual kids show, where like, oh, people get like, or like one of those like magical girl shows that you can tell is really like just really made for kids and doesn't have much substance to it. Yeah, that's the kind of show it reminds us of. Like the Rainbow High rebrand, the anime series with it. The Rainbow World stuff, pretty much. But if you've seen it, you know how like it just doesn't feel like what Rainbow High was. Like, suddenly the outfits aren't as nice as they used to be. The character interactions are so simplified around helping people, like, find their confidence and, like, friendship and stuff, that it's like, what else is there to this show other than just characters being friends at this point? Not much. And then the Rainbow World gimmicks with the dolls. Some of those were just really weird. Like, we're talking slime gimmicks from a line that like used to be known for high fashion designer parody clothing. We're talking dolls with literal bodies that have legs filled with like slime or glitter or that behave like a lava lamp, but have no like articulation. And I'm sure if you've ever handled a rebrand doll, you know the limitations of the newer bodies after like the wrist joints and the thigh joints were removed. You really can't pose them as much. Like, you can pose them just enough, but it's not as good as it used to be. And as for the and the rebrand, why did we describe it as being a shell of its former self? It doesn't feel dead. It doesn't feel, not every idea in it or character is inherently like bad or horrific or terrible to us in the rebrand. Like, our two favorites from it have to be Misty and Genevieve so far, which, yes, we know Genevieve does have shorter hair, so she kind of got short and then a stick there, but she is still a pretty blue doll regardless. And look at this face up. Like, if this face were on an original like Rainbow High doll, no one would really know the difference. No, she was a rebrand doll. Same thing with Misty here. So we rebodied our Misty onto a spare Crystal Bailey body, and you can't even like tell this doll is like rebrand era because she is so good. Her face is so strong. She's gorgeous. And that is often the case with a lot of the newer characters in the rebrand, where they have like these amazing face-ups, but these really limited bodies that you can't do as much with. And some of the rebrand dolls are just that our original characters are a lot stronger than the reoccurring like main 8. So yeah, to address the main 9, some dolls in the main 9 get a lot more dolls in the rebrand than some other ones. So lately, like dolls like Bella, Violet, Skylar, and Amaya have been getting a lot of new dolls in the rebrand. And lately, as far as like season 6 is concerned, and that kind of era of the doll line, Poppy, Ruby, Jade, and Sunny aren't getting as many dolls. Poppy. Sunny was also like kinda seems to be the original main character of the rebrand. So what happened there? Like, she deserves more dolls. And Poppy, she straight up only got one doll in the rebrand, And it was one of those like repackaged ones that was like a European exclusive. We're dead serious. Like, she just didn't get any new doll releases other than Style Icons. So, are you seeing the state Rainbow High is in nowadays? Because we are sick of getting the same, like, of the same 4 and 5, including Iris, characters over and over again in the rebrand. And while, like, some of the original Rainbow High characters have been reintroduced into the rebrand, we want to see more characters than just those ones. Because originally Rainbow High was way more innovative. And we just don't know if it will ever return to its glory days or what it once was. Because lately we've been noticing that MGA tends to treat lines like Bratz and LLOMG with a lot more respect and reverence than Rainbow High. So before we kind of try to think, is Rainbow High over? We don't know. But all we know is that it's simply a shell of his former self, and we just wish that our comfort doll line could get better and be as amazing as it used to be. So goodbye, mysterious audience. I love you. Naomi loves you. Now is our weirdly long ramble about how Rainbow High is a shell of his former self.